What's up, guys? Hope y'all are having an amazing day. Welcome back to the channel. So, today we're going to be talking about a photo shoot that I did not long ago, and this wasn't done with anybody. This was done by myself, myself, of a particular part of my body. Not to make it weird. It's just my feet. And you might say, what is so interesting about your feet for you to make photos of it and also want to make a video about it? And the reason why I'm making this video is not much about my feet. My feet is ugly. There's nothing interesting about my feet. But I'm talking about this particular photo shoot because of why I took those photos and why I think it's important for me to take those photos. So, not to make this video too long, about 2-3 years ago, this is very early when I had started doing photography. I took photo of my feet, and I remember I was with a friend back then, Ezra, and he probably was thinking, why is this guy taking a photo of his feet? And ever since I took that photo, I took it for a reason. And ever since I took that photo, and I've had it for like I said, 3 years now, or 2.5 years now. I have always had it at the back of my mind that I want to do it again, but this time with a real purpose, like of doing it, and document it in a way where it feels more artsy, and not saying these photos that I'm going to show you I have very artsy or very good or in any way, but to me very artsy, and most especially I think it's more even special to me taking it around this time when I am doing it on film. Not that also that it's better because it was shot on film, no, but the fact that it's like a process where I would say it's a little bit of tough to do all by yourself. If you're doing this on digital, you can just put it on a timer, know where you were, use probably like autofocus or something like that. Like I feel like what I'm trying to say is it's gonna make it even a little bit easier to do. But doing it on film, where you have to hit the shutter yourself, I know there are those little timer thing, which I'm still looking for one. I found one yesterday, but unfortunately that wasn't working. So to take that on film, develop the film myself, scan it myself, hopefully print it myself, and I'm definitely gonna print these photos. And just as I have the self-portrait app here, I'm going to have these photos in my studio, in the office, or around the house too as well. So every process of it, I have loved it. And what inspired this photo was the last 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know if I've mentioned. I just have been feeling just uninspired to do anything, and I was re-watching an interview that Film Supply Club did with Tyler Shields. And that night when I was watching him talk, he kind of inspired me in a way of letting me understand photography, especially the art of it. I feel like there's two types of photography. There is the art of, like, in your mind you are going to create an art, and there is, this is cool, I'm going to photograph it. Both are art, but I'm just saying, like, in the heart, which one do you really feel like you were going out to make an art? So that night he inspired me to make an art, and when I thought about making an art that night, I couldn't go out to make photos because it was cold, and I didn't even want to go out. That would have even discouraged me more. And I looked around the house, And I'm like, there is nothing in the house for me to photograph. Like, I was trying to crack my brains, trying to get myself out of that creative block that I thought I was going through, which I recently I've been trying to psych myself to get myself out of that situation. I know it's a thing out there that a lot of artists face, but the way you accept it and the way you process it is what really takes you deep. So, yeah, looking around, thinking about what film stock I could shoot. So I had a lot of things going through my mind, like, oh, I had Cine still. I could shoot my Cine still and just throw some gels and lights around the house. Or my daughter has toys all over the floor. Maybe I should document this and have that. And as I was thinking about what to do that night, and this is around like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. at night, and so I thought about that photo that I took of my feet. And then I like literally went down and looked at my feet, and I'm like, maybe I should do this. And why I am so fascinated about photographing my feet is because of the journey that my feet has taken me on. I don't think as human beings sometimes we take into consideration what our parts of the body does for us. And I'm somebody who really think about those kind of things. Like, I can literally stare at my hair for a long time and try to think about how they are separated and how they grow and why do they grow at certain. I'm that crazy about the human body, because I think it's the most beautiful piece of art that has ever been created. Forget about all these trees and mountains. You might say I'm crazy to say that, but that's the truth for me, that the human body is the most beautiful creation ever made. So my feet, thinking about it, looking back to my childhood, I was born and raised in Ghana, in Africa, and I feel like, again, don't think I'm crazy saying this, but I feel like we brutally use our feet, especially as a guy growing up in Ghana. We brutally use our feet in a way that I would say a lot of kids in the Western world don't. Let me explain. You hear stories about some people in Africa not having shoes. They have to they have to walk barefooted. Which is true. There are some villages and some places that a kid has never seen a shoe before, not even a sock. But I was lucky, I was privileged enough to have a family that we could support ourselves with whatever we wanted. We weren't rich, but we weren't poor. Especially me growing up, my grandma would buy me whatever I wanted. But I grew up in neighborhoods where there were other kids that didn't have the same privilege as I did. So going out to play with them, at some point, I just, you want to fit in. It's not like I try to fit in, but that's just like the norm, where you take off your slippers. And also, again, if you wear slippers and you go out and you break it, or you get it destroyed and you come home, you get beaten for that. I quite remember, oh man, I didn't want this video to be long, but let me say this. I quite remember I broke my slippers because in the family, our parents buy each and every one of us our own slippers. And I broke mine, and I had just gotten back from school. So my mom had these slippers that my dad made. My dad makes shoes. I don't know if I've mentioned it, but he makes leather works and stuff. So my dad had made her a very new slippers that I took and I wore, and I went out with my friends. And I don't know if you guys know sink sand or sand sink. Like, it's like a land where once your feet goes in, it feels like it's like taking you in. So where we were playing, part of the land was like that, and we happened to have to play towards that part. And I went in having my slippers on. And because when you stand in and you try to move too much, it's gonna keep taking you down, I tried to lift my foot very quick, and when my foot came out, the slippers was left under the sand, and it's like a muddy kind of like moisturous land. And at that very moment, I knew I wouldn't be able to find it anymore, and I thought about the beatings that I was going to get when I get home. So yeah, losing slippers was a thing. So when we go out to play football, sometimes we will take off our shoes, our slippers, we will take off our shirts. Like when we divide where people go on what team you play on, we will have some part of the team take off their shirt because we didn't have jerseys. So some will wear their shirts, which is like their jersey, so they know each other, they can find each other to pass the ball to, and some without like shirt on. So if you go on the part where you don't have to wear the shirt, you take the shirt off, you wrap it around your slippers, and you put it somewhere and put a stone on it, so that one, if it's very windy, it doesn't blow it away, and two, somebody don't see it easily to steal it. So that being said, I have played barefooted with my feet football, which is soccer. I have done so many things running and all barefooted. I have had like glasses cut my foot. I don't know if it's appropriate to show, but I have like scars all over my leg and feet. That it's just something that I felt like it took me back to my childhood. It reminded me of the places that I have been, the places that my feet has taken me, like walking. I have walked, I would say like miles, and it's not that I had to or because I couldn't afford to take a bus or something. It was just something that you just do. It felt normal. Here in America, if you want to even go to Walmart, you cannot walk because the freeway is cutting across the street, and I know some people are here that walk to places and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, back then, just thinking about it, why I did all of those things and what my feet has done for me and where it's taken me, the amount of assault that it's gone through, because I feel like at some point I could have protected it more and I didn't. So anyway, all of this came in my mind that night, and that inspired these photos that I took that I'm about to show you guys. I did it behind the scenes, but because I have talked too much, probably this is like getting into 15 minutes of just talking. So I might just show you a little bit of the behind the scenes and the rest of the video, the rest of the photos. So yeah, I tried to take some with no shoes on. I took one with one foot in a shoe, one foot out of a shoe, representing the fact that before I used to be barefooted, now I don't have to anymore. At some point I had to be barefooted because I didn't have actual football shoes, because if I had actual football shoes, I wouldn't have to take off my slippers to play football. And now I can buy football shoes, and if you follow me on my Instagram, you know I play football and I've showed it on my stories a couple of times. Now I can buy myself whatever shoe I want. I can just decide to walk out barefooted if I want, but I wouldn't. So as much as these photos are just going to be, again, it's gonna be weird of my feet, there is a reason behind it, which is the art of it, which the art of it is me making the photos and the story behind it. And these are the kind of photos that I really enjoy making and sharing with you guys, because they mean so much to me, and not making it for anybody. I made this for myself. And if in the future potentially somebody think it's interesting and want to buy, because I'm also into the fine arts world where I make photos and take to the galleries and sell and stuff like that. These photos up on this wall that I made during the pandemic, I have talked about it at the gallery. I've showed the gallery owner. She would love to have it in there, but I told her I made them for myself, and sometimes I get too attached to certain art that I make that I just want to hold on to it, especially this piece here that you are seeing. I don't know if my hands is pointing at it, but it's the double head of myself. It's a self-portrait drawing that I did, and I keep increasing the price of it because I don't know, I'm so attached to it, and I just want to have it. So anyway, thank you so much for listening to me talk too much, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got inspired by it or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to say, whatever you think of creating, just do it. If it's just even off your fingertips, as long as it means something to you, just do it. And thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on my Instagram, Edmund K. Boateng, and I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, go out there, make some beautiful photos and share with us all. You don't forget, always create to inspire. See you guys in the next video. And this might be my last video of the year, so I wish you all happy holidays, and I wish you a happy new year. See ya.